You'll never stop this flame. I will never let you go. Boys, welcome back to the channel. I'm joined with Tobias and Scaife. We're going to rank Premier League managers on a tier list of how good they are. We've got categories which are dog, smelly, could be good, decent, very nice, and then Pep at top. We'll just put Pep there now. Just get him out of the way. But we're going to start with Arsenal. Boys, thoughts?
I can't stand Lego Head, to be fair. I cannot stand the man. He's always out his technical area. He's a complete knobhead, but that said, he's very good. Very, very good. What he's building at Arsenal has been very impressive.
He is very good, isn't he?
Yeah, they were so much fun when they were crap, and they're not crap anymore. Are
you agreeing, Scaife? We're just going to get this out of the way nice and early and put him in very nice.
Yeah,
very
no,
nice.
I agree. £500 million spent and one FA Cup, but yeah, very nice.
That's the thing that holds.
I mean, that is true.
They're still a bit Arsenal, and that's what's nice.
True.
If this were like,
Emery next at Villa. Go on.
I was going to say, if this were like a list on who you'd rather go for a pint with, it'd be 100% bottom. Not even close.
Yeah, he just needs to accept that he's knocking on a bit as well and stop dyeing his hair, doesn't he, really?
True.
He looks like he looks like a Thunderbirds character.
Yeah.
God, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it looks like he's made out of wax, doesn't he? He don't look real.
Yeah. Simon Cowell a bit, yeah.
Anyway, as a gaffer, is good. Right, Emery at Villa. What are we saying?
Love him.
Very nice.
I agree.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. Are we happy with that?
Yeah,
Move on, yeah.
That guy is a Europa League magnet.
Yep, I agree. I very much agree. Next is Is it Areola?
No, that's a nipple.
Like nipples.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Bournemouth guy. I'm going to toss up here between them two.
Decent, you know.
You don't think there's more potential there than what is actually there at minute though? Like,
I get what you mean because it's early doors. I just think when we will all get what you're thinking, Bournemouth would definitely go down with like Gary O'Neill on that. And then when they got rid of Gary O'Neill after doing a good job, that's a big risk to make. And he made players like Solanke better. Like
True.
They've got rid of Solanke, so this year will be the big test. So maybe you're right actually. In could be good, but like at the back of this year, if Bournemouth have a decent year, having lost Solanke, he would definitely be in decent.
I agree. Yeah, I'm agreeing.
I agree.
Skeff?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. Thomas Frank, I think same. I'd say he's decent straight away.
I wanted him at us when he were available. I think his man management.
You'd have him very nice then.
No, I'd have him in decent, but higher than Bournemouth, higher than Areola. His man management's one of the best in the league. He's great in front of, like, you know, when he came on M&F, he was really good that day. Open with his tactics. I think he's good.
He is good, and to be fair, they've got one of the lowest budgets, haven't they? In general, the team just really isn't that good. And he's kept an absolute minuscule team up in Premier League for a few years now. So yeah.
What's like his level? Where do you reckon he could be? Honestly,
is it a bit of a
Newcastle?
Like a Tottenham.
Is it a Moyes though, where like it's kind of perfect job at the moment? Like Everton, West Ham was Moyes, but then when he took the step up, maybe it was too much. Whereas like Brentford, I think he's done ridiculously well. And also without Tony when he was banned, and Buemo's had injuries, and he still managed to do enough.
It's a tough one, that, innit? I think if it were to leave, I think he'd go to a different country to one of big teams in a different country, maybe for that reason.
It'd be interesting to see him at a step up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. I would like to see it because then Brentford will go down as well and border him now.
Yeah,
fair enough.
That's my thought process.
Agree.
But yeah, we'll have Thomas Frank in there. Brighton, we've just got to put him in. Could be good, haven't we? Because we don't know.
Started well.
He is a child. He is a child, but he seems like a grown-up child.
He's literally he's about 30. He is literally a young man. There's players older than him. That's crazy.
Yeah, the fact that he's telling Milner what to do, and the Milner's about 8 years
older
than him.
Right, this one's gonna split opinion massively. Maresca at Chelsea. I'll let you say your little thing first, Toby. I want to know what you think as a Chelsea fan.
I've quite liked him, to be honest. I found him less. Like we have the last couple of years, the thing they've got wrong is managerial appointments, and that's what worries me. But like Poch and Potter spoke worse. I like how he speaks. In terms of on the pitch, like structure-wise, I see more of a structure there than under Poch, for example. So that there's promise there with him. But honestly, who knows? He looks like Pep, and he worked with him. So that's kind of all we have to really go off. I know Leicester last season didn't really completely work out, but I feel like at times when it clicked, it's fine. I think could be good, but I can't put him higher than that. He could be lower than that, and he could be higher than that. Genuinely, we just don't really have a lot to go off.
That's a fair point. Skip,
I agree. Could be good. Not proving himself much, really. Not had much time to prove himself. Like, what do you want him to do, really? What more do you want him to win?
True. It's so dodgy, though, because he won league, and it were like... He were bordering on being a failure, even though he won league. Do you know what I mean? Because the players that he had, the fact that he had an 18-point gap at one point that got diminished, it's like... He's very much not got a plan B, and the football that Leicester played, I thought, for the most part, was shit to watch. It's just the fact that they have best players, that they were winning games. Maybe Chelsea can do the same thing. You know what I mean? I mean, he scored a lot of goals away at Wolves, but then XG and stuff like that, it's not like they'd absolutely smashed them to bits. You know what I mean? Like City would or Arsenal.
But
would.
that's what's
But
weird.
maybe
Though.
he's relying on his best players.
But at the same time, we won the XG games against Palace and City, but didn't win the games. So it's like it's just there's just not a lot to go off, is there? I think that's the reality. All we've got is Leicester, like you said. That was underwhelming, and that's what worried me more. But since he's been in here, I've quite liked him so far. But it's literally 3 games into the season, so
yeah.
And I give him a lot of stick at Leicester, to be fair. But when I watched Chelsea Man City first game, there weren't that much between them.
No,
in my mind,
it's City.
apart from being brilliant in both boxes, City.
Yeah,
Chelsea looked quite good.
Yeah,
so I'd agree. I'd put him in could be good.
Yeah, who knows with him? He could end up at bottom or top by the end. We really don't know.
Yeah, I'd say same for Palace, to be honest. That Glasner, because it's been what's it been like 6 months. When you're in about like January.
Yeah, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I think it's a bit trendy. This people saying he's like one of the best managers, one of the best up and coming managers. What's it like? A case study of him is so small. How can you possibly tell me he's a good manager from January till December, whenever it were? And now look at the start of the season, not very good. I know they've lost players. I think it's a bit trendy. People jumping on it, saying, "Oh, he's great," but I don't know. I'd have him below. I'd have him where you've got him right now, not above Brighton or Chelsea.
I'd say that, but if you look at what he did, I think it was Frankfurt, wasn't it? That he got them from that they were bordering on relegation-ish to getting into Europe. Like he's got more of a CV than Maresca and
but the Brighton manager's done so well in Germany as well.
But how well? Like in the same way that he had a year or so, same as Maresca, where he won the league and the championship, but it's not as much of a CV. I don't know. I think Glasner's got more of a CV than those, but I'd probably I'd probably keep him in the could be good, but
he's in there.
I'm going to say you can't really put him anywhere else but this category, can you?
Yeah, that's true.
Dash,
very good.
I think he's
yeah, mate. Does the job. Does what he says on the tin.
I mean, he could send him down. What if he gets him relegated this year? What do you say then?
Well, do you know what? Maybe it'll do him a favour, because when he was at Burnley, he got them Europe. Vincent Kompany took Burnley down, and they gave him the Bayern job. So maybe it's time Dyche went down, and he'll get the respect he deserves.
That's a good point.
And he'll get the Bayern job.
Just because he don't play like most attractive football ever, people think that he's shit.
Yeah,
he should be England gaffer. That fella, he's absolutely mint.
Keep the ball out our goal.
Got him a bit high here.
No, I want him. I want him in.
I think Thomas Frank's a better manager. I've just said it. I've said it.
Yeah, but I want it.
I don't know.
Dyche ain't got a plan B. It's great when it works, but when it don't work, what have you got? Just boot it up front. Lewin can do something.
In general, when did it not work? I know he left the Burnley job just before they went down, but he'd kept them up for years. Got them promoted when they did go down originally. Yeah. Got Burnley into Europe. Like he did that.
No, it's great. I get that. In the long term, it works, but in the short term, like in a game, if it don't work, what have you got? It is just one thing. It's too one-dimensional, in my opinion. I think Frank's teams can break teams down in different ways. They can keep the ball. They can go long. On the counter, they're good as well. I think Everton are underrated on the counter. I think they're one of the best teams in the league on counter. For what they've got. Like in relation to the squad.
You would have Everton.
I'd have
him, one down, maybe above Frank. Yeah, maybe I don't know, but in
and you would have him there.
I love him to bits, mate. I think I'm.
I do as well.
I think
no,
it's the fact that he's like funny.
It's fine.
It's all relative. It's all relative, and if I'm a chairman of a club where I think we might go down, he's probably the first name I'm calling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh God, this is dodgy. This one, Marco Silva. I quite like it. To be fair, when are we going to have some smelly dogs? I've got one guy in mind, but Jesus, Vestrum, struggling. Oh no, I've got two. Never mind. Yeah, I've got two. I've just seen over one. Marco Silva, I think's good. I'd have him in decent.
Yeah,
I agree.
I
think he's on the same sort of vibe as Thomas Frank.
Yeah.
This is a real test though this year, isn't it? They've lost some key players now. This is where it starts to. It is, but I think they'll be
sound. Like they've lost Polinia, but they got a lot of money for him.
I forget
as
that he was at Everton, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'd put him there. I'd put him there in front of.
Yeah.
If you had a team, say Team X now, are you taking Marco Silva or Iriola? I'm taking Iriola to manage that team.
I would
personally
probably take a punt on Iriola more.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Actually, like that.
And can I just?
You'll
hate me for this, Callum. I think going back to the Dyche and Frank thing, just to waste everyone's time. I think Frank couldn't do what Dyche could do to a team. I don't think Frank could keep a team up like Dyche has done.
I don't agree that Everton should be higher then. So Dyche's higher.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm going to say he's got. I feel like his football is more suited to worse teams.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's like Big Sam, mate. Big Sam used to get stick, but realistically, the guy did a job. He did his job brilliantly. His job remit was to keep teams up, try and push for Europe if you can, and they did that.
Yeah.
I do think it's harsh saying that he's only got one thing going for him though, Everton, because because they can play some decent stuff. It's just like utilising crosses because the forwards are that shit.
Maybe,
I think that's just literally what it comes down to.
If Ineos want to take a punt, we could see Sean Dyche's ball on another level.
Yeah, he's working with what he's got in it, Dyche, realistically, because Everton's squad, especially the forward line's crap.
That's what convinced me. Sorry, go on.
Go on.
I was going to say, in relation to the squad, etc. Yeah, you've convinced me. Yeah,
but that makes a good manager, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that's what it's about. Not just playing a certain way, getting relegated and going to Bayern Munich like company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ipswich, McKenna.
Don't know much about him. I think you'll have to lead.
I was going to say he would. What he's done is so impressive that I almost want to put him in decent, but I still think it could be good because it still is early. But what he's done is nuts. Like, it is mental.
You'll have him higher, won't you, Callum?
Yeah, I actually would have him higher. If it were just my call, I would have him probably back there.
Really fair.
Yeah, I do think he is that good. But as an average, I agree with the fact that he could be good because this is his first managerial job. He's been promoted twice, hasn't he? In his one job that he's at.
I think what he's done is more impressive than the other three in that pile, though. Like, I'd hire McKenna,
especially with Bournemouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Michael Silva's got promotions behind him. Ariola's been here for what, like 6 months?
It's one of those ones where you kind of want to see what they do in the Premier League, I think.
Yeah.
Because you've got to bear in mind, Rob Edwards has taken Luton up and stuff like that. But would you have Rob Edwards ahead of like some of those in that pile? You wouldn't, would you?
Yeah, but it's the manner in which they're doing it.
Yeah, I get it. They play good football.
Yeah. They do play good football, and it's very adaptive. They played really different stuff in League One to they did in Championship, and they'll be playing different stuff in this league as well. If it were up to me, I'd have him there, but as an average, are we all right there?
You'd have him in, yeah, no, I agree with you. I'd take your word for it, to be honest. If he was in very nice, if you got him in very nice and they went down, where would you have him?
Probably decent, wouldn't you? We could just settle in the
because
middle. There.
I'll take your lead, Callum. You've seen him more than me.
It's a tough one, because if Ipswich do go down with him, do you still blame him? Is the gap just that big? I know they spent a lot of money on top Championship players, but is the gap maybe just too big with the amount of teams that go up and come straight back down now?
Given the success of their transfer window, they're definitely, for me, now expected to stay up almost, aren't they? It's been so good.
I'd agree. I think they've got a better team. They've got a better starting 11 than probably Everton. As crazy as that is. Defensively, Everton are really good, but everything else, I'd rather have Ipswich's side.
Yeah. I'm happy with decent there.
Yeah, me too.
I'm happy with that as well. Right, Leicester.
Oh, he's a beautiful man.
Who is that man?
Steve
really
Cooper.
Bloke, I forgot his name.
Steve Cooper.
I think he's all right.
On the eye, he is in Pep in terms of just Steve. But
what to look at?
Yeah, he's lovely looking man.
I do think he's a decent manager.
I think he just
overall.
What has he done?
He kept Forest up.
I think he's a decent manager, but he's not in this category here. He's not indecent, and he's not in a could be good because he's been about long enough now.
Smelly doesn't do him justice. It kind of feels like that's an average character. Do you know what I mean? He's not smelly. Like, he's not a bad manager.
He's smelly compared to them, though.
Yeah. Yes. Relative. Yeah. Yeah. Like none of.
Yeah, I'm agreeing.
None of those guys above would hire Steve Cooper ahead of what they have.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a very good point as well.
Yeah.
Right, Liverpool. Are we putting him in? Could be good.
Yeah, it has to be.
Could be good.
But he could be the best.
He could. He's another one that he might end up in Pep's category, but.
Yeah, we don't watch Feyenoord, boys. We can't lie to you.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I was going to say Feyenoord. He did take from prior to when Feyenoord were there. They were quite boring and they hadn't been very successful. And he did get them to playing a good style of play that was very attractive, as well as winning the league.
Yeah.
So he obviously accomplished a lot there, but we're not all going to sit there and bullshit you that we've watched loads of the Eredivisie. So.
Yeah.
Well, guys, let me take the reins here. He is still a young manager, and at AZ Alkmaar, I believe they were top of the league, joint top, and then it was called off for COVID. So he's taken a relatively, not in the top 2-3 teams in Eredivisie, up to the top in AZ.
Alkmaar?
AZ Alkmaar, yeah.
Yeah, they got that red and white badge sort of thing.
And then Feyenoord come in for him, did well, won the league. Yeah, that was before Feyenoord.
Oh.
So he's actually done a bit, to be fair. He's still only quite young, but no, I agree. You can't put him higher because we've not seen him really do much.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to be in that
He was fucking good in Breaking Bad as well.
Yeah, very true. He's very good. You've never seen him and Pep in the same room yet, so that's one. Man United, it's just got to be this, hasn't it?
Can we make another tier below that one?
Yeah, Ten Hag
he is awful.
Wank. He's shit.
He is.
The worst ever Man United Premier League finish, and they give him a contract. Which isn't his fault, But it doesn't also make him a decent manager just because he's won an FA Cup. He finished 8th. He's shit.
Well, that's what's so funny about it, is that every interview he gets where people kind of press him and go, by the way, you know, in the last year or so, you're actually 8th in the league table. Like, it's not going particularly well. You've won 4 in the last 17. And he turns around and he goes, yeah. But won a trophy. He does it every time. He basically he just turns around and he goes, yeah, but I won that one-off game. And they're like, yeah, I know, mate, but we're looking at data over a long period of time, a lot of games, and it's been shit.
Yeah.
And he just turns around and goes,
there are
no,
seven,
but that one
at
game.
least 7 teams more likely to win league than them, than Man United, the biggest team in this country.
And then you've got, on top of it, it's the fact that every time they're like, Ineos or the Glazers, whatever, say, Ten Hag, Eric, what do you want? And he goes, I want more Ajax player. Like, every time, it's like Anthony, Delete, like, let's just get the band back together from 6 years ago when Ajax were quite good.
There's nothing happening.
Oh, mate,
there's just nothing happening even when he's players in.
Can I play devil's advocate here? I do think he's shit, by the way. I think he's absolutely rubbish. But at Ajax, they were good.
But it's Ajax.
What do you mean it's Ajax?
Dutch league.
He did do a good job, but was that maybe because he had a crop of really good emerging young talents?
He did, yeah.
That did well. Like,
he's taken off of them with him, and they're all shit.
No, but
now.
De Jong was kind of the best. De Jong was probably the best one, would we say? Also, do you know what? This is criminal.
Yeah.
He had Kudus and he had Anthony. How did he end up taking Anthony?
True.
Anthony is absolutely horrendous, isn't he?
Oh, mate, that's
the way I see it with Man United. Like, they are the Real Madrid of this country. And if Real Madrid won Copa del Rey and finished 8th, the manager would be hung. So, the fact that he's got a new contract is mental. He would not get a job at half of these teams above him. He would not even get a job at Ipswich. It's ridiculous that he has got a job there. I think he's terrible. Really, really bad. Anyway, Newcastle, I think he's decent. I won't even have him very nice, Eddie. I think he's a good manager. And I'd have him probably at top
better
of
than
this.
Thomas Frank?
He got Newcastle Champions League. He did do that. I do think with Eddie Howe, this season will be really telling. Obviously, he'll have less Europe, so it'll help. But I don't know if his football kind of attracts injuries, if that makes sense. Like, Newcastle had a lot of injuries last season. Obviously, Europe's a big factor for any team with that. But because it's so intense, I feel like Newcastle, the longer he's been there, have become less intense.
It's like Bielsa at Leeds.
Yeah.
They burnt out and went down big time.
Yeah, I mean, look, Calvin Phillips has never been the same player, and there might be something in it that Bielsa kind of got everything out of him. Same with Bamford, actually. Bamford scored like 17 Premier League goals. Now look at him. So,
yeah, it does just take a toll on its players, doesn't it? Eventually,
but when they're there, it's a bit like Mourinho. Mourinho was that on the higher level, like for 2-3 years. Absolutely brilliant, and then the wheels would fall off. Like, people would start to get worn out with it. So I think Eddie Howe is really, like, I'd put it this way, I'd probably hire him for England, but
I'd maybe have Thomas Frank plays better football. I think Thomas Frank's a
more
honest manager.
He's a better manager.
I think he's a better communicator. Thomas Frank. I think if Thomas Frank was at Newcastle, I think he could do equally what he's done and maybe some more.
Only if he has Jason
with
Tyndall
the players at Newcastle. Mate, there's world class players there.
Yeah,
in my opinion. But it's not. It's like a what if opinion.
Starters that are worse than that at Brentford.
Okay, maybe it's a better way of looking at it. Is Thomas Frank's job at Brentford more impressive than Eddie Howe's job at Bournemouth? Because I would say no. I'd say Eddie Howe did more things with Bournemouth than Thomas Frank's done with Brentford.
He did.
So Eddie Howe's already shown he can do all that, and now he's at a higher expectancy at a club, and he's cooked, hasn't he? He got them Champions League. Like,
yeah, I'm agreeing. So are we having him in decent then, or do you want to stick him up to very nice?
I'd go
stick him there.
I'd go very nice. Yeah, I'd go very nice, to be honest.
I'd have decent.
Well, it's like I love Dyche, but Eddie Howe's also as good a manager as Sean Dyche, I think.
But there were a time where they were thinking of getting rid of him, not so long back.
I'd keep him there.
Fair enough. No, fair enough.
We'll come back to it now. Right, Forest. It's Nuno in it.
I like him. Sorry,
I quite like him.
He's just average.
He's higher than Leicester easily.
But it's probably in smelly because of he's not in this calibre.
No one above,
on a technicality, he's in smelly.
Yeah.
Maybe Smelly's wrong. I think he's better than Cooper as well. Maybe we'll change Smelly.
I mean, if they're
head of Cooper,
if they're smelly, what is Ten Hag? It must stink of actual literal shit if they're in smelly.
Sorry.
He's all right, Kiss.
We did get a brief bit of Nuno at Spurs, and it did not go well. If you guys even remember that was like 5 games.
I do remember that.
Get rid of this guy.
That was something.
So
I think that's all right. It's in a he's all right category. Ten Hag's just his own man. In fact, he's not his own man because Russell Martin's there.
You hate this.
Russell Martin is the worst manager in England.
No,
he's absolutely terrible.
Ten Hag's worse than him.
He's terrible.
Ten Hag's worse.
Terrible.
What about the big fatty you don't like?
Oh, Steve Evans. All right, Steve Evans. Yeah, fair enough.
What? The
Russell Martin has finished in the top 6 once in his life, and he's got a Premier League job. He had to go through playoffs behind Ipswich, who had a League One team. This squad were worth 300 million quid. And have you seen the goals that he conceded against Brentford from his playing out front back voodoo bollocks?
Yeah.
He's wank. He's wank, and he'll get sacked and end up at Brighton. I'm telling you, he's going to get sacked and end up falling upstairs again.
He's one of those.
Too stubborn,
every
isn't he?
single job is shit.
Some managers are just lucky. They have that timing. I don't know.
It's because of the style of football that he plays.
Do you know what?
Like, we're on about Everton playing like not the nicest stuff, but Sean Dyche is working with what he's got. Russell Martin is not doing that at Southampton. He's forcing him to play out at back with bottom at barrel Premier League players, so they're going to get slapped doing it.
He's too stubborn.
He is. Crap. I do think Ten Hag's worse than him.
I agree.
I'd have Ten Hag as the worst in this league. Ange at Tottenham. He's got to go up here.
Has he?
He's got to be. Oh, yeah, I think so.
Ahead of Eddie Howe already. Like I like.
I'd have him there. I would have him in front of Dyche.
Oh my God, really?
They might be crazy. But you got to think of the situation they came into at Tottenham. They've just sold the best ever player in Kane. And then did they finish 4th after? They improved massively without him.
They came 5th, but I will say they were 1st at the end of November and they were points clear of everyone. And the rest of the year they came 8th and they've had a poor start to the season.
Yeah, but that's just Tottenham genes, isn't it?
No, it's the style of football he plays. It's too relentless, like the Bielsa and Eddie Howe thing.
Well, I don't know if it's that. It's like defensively, they're really bad. Set pieces, he even said, he was like, we don't do any work on set pieces. They concede set pieces for fun. Like, there are things he ignores. Going forward, look, put it this way, for a neutral, Ange Ball is brilliant. And he's a really likeable bloke. Like, he's a really normal person.
Mate.
Yeah, he's really, exactly. He's like, we just play a fucking high line, mate. Like, he's chilled, but I don't buy into it, I think, as much as people do with Ange, because he is so likeable. I think it's easy to do. I don't know.
So where would you have him?
I'd have him. He's one of those ones, a bit like, I'm kind of thinking Slot though and all that, where I think he could be really good. He really could be.
Yeah, but he's been here like a year.
Yeah, he's been here a year. We've seen more of a year, and I was impressed with. Going forward, I was really impressed with him. Everything else, and like off the pitch, but defensively, I haven't been impressed with him. And the thing is, with Spurs, not even taking the piss. If you look at their back line, it's wicked. Like Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Porro, it's really good. There are some nice pieces, even though Kane left, and they've spent money since Kane left. By the way, like he's chose to bring in Werner. I don't know why he's bringing in Werner and Brennan Johnson, but he has.
So would you have him there? I'll give you Dyche. I don't want to give you Eddie Howe though.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can agree with that. I just think I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical on Ange, but I can see him also being very good.
What are you saying, Skev?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, brilliant! Thanks for input.
Well, I tried to get in there 6 times, guys. Jesus,
I
thought I was on mute.
Giving you a chance now.
I was on mute. I was like, hello. No one's replying. Oh my God, I'm in a call myself.
Speak!
I'm still talking about Bournemouth. Right, carry on. No, I was just saying, I like how he does it.
Anyway, West Ham. No, go on.
Really got me then as well.
Go on.
I like how he doesn't fall on his sword. He will just play that system, even if it doesn't work. Remember, he had 9 men. He carried on playing that high line. Good watch, and I like that.
Yeah, but then at the same time, we're saying that, but then we've got Russell Martin down here for doing the exact same thing.
I was going to say, also, that didn't make any sense to me. That we battered them 4-1, and everyone was going, "Oh, they're so brave," and you're like, "That was stupid. What are you on about? If they parked the bus,
that was some bollocks.
We struggled to convert chances. They might have got a result. It was stupid. You do adapt. You have to adapt the game sometimes when you've lost men on the field.
They wouldn't have got a result either way.
But you don't say it's brave because all 9 men stood vertical on halfway line.
Yeah.
No, mate, if you watch it, the amount of times they were offside because of the high line they were playing, it were actually effective.
No,
it were
mate,
working.
we had
they conceded 4 goals.
Yeah, we had players.
No, to a point, it were working. It were.
It wasn't working. We just literally.
No,
it were.
It wasn't.
No, it weren't.
That
they had timed a run.
Yeah.
You could literally, a keeper could have timed his run and been in every time.
We honestly should have won that game
all
9
stood
or
in
10.
a line.
It was just ridiculous. We just like Callum said, no one was timing their runs. I remember Jackson had a hat trick, and I was fuming at his performance. Like
when you got 9 men, what would you expect? You're trying to make a goal at counter.
Part of the bus. You're playing against a team.
Dyche.
You're playing against a team that struggles to score chances. I'm saying that from someone who watches them every week. Like we struggle against teams sat back, and you chose to give us as much space as possible. It was just it was brain dead.
It were a bit daft that, but overall, I think is there. Right, Lopetegui at West Ham.
We've got the Wolves
Not
here.
good enough at West Ham.
Yeah, he's decent. He's decent.
He is.
I know Real Madrid
really
in Spain didn't go well, but like he did a good job at Wolves.
Maybe put him there.
Yes, yeah. I wouldn't hire him ahead of Iriola, but I might hire him ahead of Silva.
Yeah, that's fair. And then finally, we've got Gaz. Got O'Neill.
Mate,
where do you put him?
What a job he's actually done.
It's one of them, innit? Yeah. He's either decent or he's all right. He's such a...
He's low-key could be good, because all he's been given is Bournemouth, where we all thought they'd go down when Parker got sacked, and he actually came like mid-table, which was so impressive. And then they went, get out. and then he's done a good job at Wolves. Like, did Wolves...
He has done a good job at Wolves.
Can't really knock what they did.
I'm below Fulham. I'm below Silva. There.
But is it a name test thing though? Because I always think Marco Silva sounds so much better than Kieran McKenna and Gary O'Neill.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. Yeah.
I think Silva plays better stuff. I think Gary O'Neill's better to listen to and is... Yeah, I don't know.
But you know, if like Marco Silva had like a skin in him and he called Mark John instead, where would he be then? He'd literally be down here.
Oh mate, Mark John, we'd probably be looking at and going, he's ahead of Steve.
He's a dog, Mark John.
Yeah, Mark John he's ahead of Nuno.
I agree with that there. Be fair.
Yeah.
Are we all happy? Are we changing anything?
Make another tier and put United down in it. That would be all.
You know what? That's fair.
That's all.
Yeah, pretend that Man United are down here. 10 Hags a ball bag. But thank you all for watching. As always, make sure you check out Scaife and Toby. I'll put the links in the description, and we have a channel that we all three is called Group Chat Talk, so I'll link that as well. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in a bit.